Hey, friends, welcome back to another podcast, A Transformed Life, where we talk about all things life, whether that be parenting, entrepreneurship, custody issues, abuse, realigning, misaligned patterns, spirituality. It is a mashup of all things life because life is not just one thing. It is a complex series of many things intertwined together, and how I always approach health, fitness, nutrition from a mind, body, spirit principle, holistic. It's plural. We're not just, um, doings, we are beings. And so that is how I approach life, and why this podcast touches on all facets of life. So whether you are a CEO, entrepreneur, founder, business owner, or parent, or a human, this podcast episode today will apply to you. It's going to be focused on nervous system for entrepreneurs, and you can insert, instead of entrepreneurs, parents. If you are a parent, mother, father, because you still need a nervous system that is regulated, that has capacity to hold whatever it is that you are experiencing. And I don't necessarily use the word hold, that you're supposed to hold everything all the time. Think of energy like going through a wire. It passes through. And so, yes, it holds, and it also continues. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my hands moving. It continues to pass through. There's going to be a large burst of energy at some of the intersections of where the poles meet, and then it passes through, etc. And that is what I use to describe hold. We're not just holding tightly with our fist, gripping on for dear life. We're letting the energy move through our body, expand, kind of like if you can see my hand, it's expanding loosely, then it opens, and then it gently kind of closes and back again. That is the terminology behind the word hold. We're not supposed to just hold everything that is within us. That is how we become dysregulated, because we're not letting the energy pass through our body. So I want to make that distinction up here at the front of this episode. Before we go any further, I would really appreciate your support on this show by giving a 5-star review. The more stars that people leave for whatever podcast platform you are listening to, whether that be Spotify or Apple, or if you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel, because it really helps the algorithm gods, goddesses out there, and provides this work, this medicine for many more souls and lives and hearts to hear it. So thank you. I receive your blessings ahead of time. Nervous system for entrepreneurs. Pushing harder is over, and regulation is in. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you've been trained or conditioned to believe the answer is always push harder, hustle more, send more emails, have, 40 meetings scheduled for the week ahead, more output, more discipline, more motivation, more grit, more caffeine, less sleep, more pressure, less regulation. That was the old era. And if that worked forever, people would be feeling amazing by now. And that simply is not true. How many founders are burnout, stressed out? They have built themselves a business, a company that they have grown to hate, because they kind of subscribe to this push harder mentality, grind, boss babe, in kind of in the female entrepreneur world. And they have stress. Many of them don't have healthy habits. They're not, taking care of their mind, body, spirit. And you can't show up to your clients, your customers, in the highest service of them, as well as yourself, as well as your family, relationships, when you push yourself to overwhelm, burnout, stressed out, all of the above. And the truth is, pushing harder is over. Regulation is in. And the problem isn't your mindset, and it's not even your strategy. It's not even your work ethic. Most of the time, it comes down to a few things: your nervous system, as well as the energetic patterns in your life. Your nervous system is the secret CEO of your business. And again, if you're not a CEO, if you're not an entrepreneur, just replace the word parent. Your nervous system is the secret CEO of your business. And you can be a CEO and be a mom. You can be a CEO and be a father. Just substitute those words in there. And your nervous system decides whether you take the scary action or avoid it, whether you send the pitch or you wait for the perfect deck for 3 more weeks, and then it extends another week, and then another day, and then another week, and it never gets sent. Whether you hold boundaries or people please your calendar into chaos, whether you scale or sabotage. And all of these can apply to parenting as well. So today I want to share with you what your nervous system led entrepreneurship really looks like, and how to shift out of force and into clean, powerful execution. So, part 1, the hustle trap is a nervous system pattern. Hustle culture didn't start as a business strategy, it started as a survival strategy. And when your nervous system is in threat, it reaches for one of these 4 familiar moves: fight, which is overworking, controlling, forcing results; flight, distraction, avoidance, jumping to the next idea; freeze, procrastination, numb scrolling, I can't move; and fawn, over giving, over explaining, bending your boundaries to keep approval, outsourcing your power. And parenting, entrepreneurship triggers all of this: money, visibility, criticism, uncertainty, leadership, decision making, risk. So I want you to hear this. You're not bad at consistency. You're not lazy, and you're not broken. Your system is doing what it was designed to do: protect you. The only issue is your nervous system might be protecting you from things that are actually part of your expansion. And before we go any further, I want to let you know that your nervous system does not care about how much money is in your bank account. It does not care about your relationship status. It doesn't even care about happiness, joy, love, how many likes you have on your latest social media post. It cares about one thing and one thing only, and that is safety. It will do anything to keep you safe and protect you. And that's why really working with the subconscious, plus energetic patterns, plus nervous system, kind of also shadow work, all the subconscious things. What Carl Jung says: until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule our life and we will call it fate. And so it's really bringing all of these together and realizing that we're just kind of operating on autopilot instead of awareness. And when we become aware of our patterns, how we're operating in our parenting, how we're operating in our businesses, small or large, it is only then that we can affect the outcome that we desire. How does dysregulation show up in business? Here are some common ways that I have seen over the years where entrepreneurs leak power, give their power away when their system isn't regulated for capacity. First, they confuse urgency with importance. They feel activated, and so they assume something is urgent. And then they sprint and burn out and reset and repeat. Second, they mistake pressure for productivity. Pressure can create output short term, and long term, it creates resentment, fatigue, and a business you don't even want to run. It also affects your health. Uh, Stress leads to 80% of disease. And so when you are continuing to burn the midnight oil and work harder, you are not in a flow state. You are in a depletion state, and you cannot work. You cannot give your best to anything when you're in a depleted state. Number 3, you overthink instead of execute. Overthinking isn't intelligence. Overthinking is often self-protection. And none of these are bad. This is not coming from a place of shame. This is coming from a place of curiosity, compassion, and awareness. Because when we have awareness, then we can change what is going on in our system, in our homes, in our work environments. And we can begin to affect that so we have peace, we have calmness. We're not operating out of dysregulated nervous system and energetic patterns. Number 4, they can't hold capacity. They want more clients, more money, more visibility. And when it actually arrives, they tighten, they collapse, self-sabotage, or they can create chaos. That one happens a lot. So where is chaos happening in your life? It is probably a dysregulated nervous system happening. And your system, all these things are happening because your system isn't trained to hold and expand. Remember what the definition of hold is. It ebbs and flows to hold what you're actually calling in. Your consistency problem, in quotes, is actually a safety problem. If a task is attached to danger, judgment, failure, rejection, your system will stall, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And this is why you can do some things really easily, and then other things you avoid, just like they're a burning stove. Not because you don't want it, because some part of you, probably subconscious at this point, thinks and believes it's unsafe. And so it's meeting that aspect, that part of you that thinks it's unsafe, and reconditioning it, realigning it for safety. And it sounds simple as I say it, and the actual work, because it's a very committed process that you will have to undergo of rewiring and reconditioning not only your mind, but rewiring your nervous system. That is really not talked about a whole lot. So, the new era of entrepreneurship, what is the new era? It's not softer in the way most people assume. It's not even do less, care less. It is actually more advanced. Regulated entrepreneurs move faster. What's the saying? Go slow to move fast. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast, I think is the quote. Regulated entrepreneurs actually move faster because they don't waste energy fighting themselves. I'm going to say that again. Regulated entrepreneurs move faster because they don't waste energy fighting themselves. A regulated entrepreneur, a regulated parent can make a decision without spiraling, be visible without collapsing, sell without performing or over-explaining, lead without controlling, rest without guilt. That's a big one. I was working with a client on that one. Receive without clenching or justification. And this is the shift. You stop trying to build a business with brute force, and you begin building it with capacity, with expansion. And that is such a beautiful gift to give to your nervous system and your future generations and your clients and your parent, your children, and your employees, your team. The simple framework I want you to hear for all of this is step 1. Regulate. Before you try to figure it out, book more meetings. I was working with a client and she was like, before I began working with you, heard that, I need to have 100 calls on my calendar for this week because 90% of them are going to be no's. And I'm like, well, what you focus on expands. So you're already shooting yourself in the foot because you're expecting 90% to be no. And your energy is not going to be in it because you're already expecting it to be no. So that you're leaking, giving away your power for that. And it's just dead space. You're not in the flow state. It would be more aligned to have 5 meetings, maybe one a day, that is super aligned, and your nervous system isn't burn out. You're not chasing, you're not grabbing, you're not cleaning. You're simply calling in and receiving what's aligned. So, before you try to figure it out, back to regulation, I get sidetracked a little bit. Thanks for bearing with me. Ask some of these questions. What sensations are here? Tight chest, buzzing arms, heavy stomach, maybe jaw tension, maybe, you can, like your neck, your shoulders, yeah, your jaw. Like even right now, as you're listening, like, is your jaw tight? Are you clenching your teeth? How about your hands? Can you relax your hands? How about your feet? Can you just like subtly relax different parts of your body, but just even like 5%? What state are you in? Amped up, scattered, shut down, collapsed, um, even like kind of activated energy, like that excitement that is just doesn't really have a place to go and it's just bubbling up and you're trying to contain it and you can't. And then what is my body trying to protect me from right now? Now, centuries ago, our body, our nervous system was protecting us from saber-toothed tigers. Today, we have now pivoted to different things, different triggers, such as deadlines, emails, financial stress, financial bills, core issues, family relationship dynamics that may not be going well. Maybe they're going great. Expectations from other people that we have put on ourselves, poor boundaries. There's so many different stressors in life that our system still equates as saber-tooth tigers. And that's why we have these 4 F words of fight, flight, freeze, and fawn nervous system um, adaptations that we can realign so we're not in these patterns and we can show up with our clients, with our customers in the most peaceful, kind, loving way. And it starts with you and me first. Here is the good news. If you're like, great, another thing to add to my list, you don't need a 45-minute practice. You simply need a capacity shift. So here is a 60-second, it's a minute reset you can do throughout the day. Exhale longer than you inhale. And really, again, go back to the video on my YouTube channel here where I teach you the 5-minute breathwork practice. Do that every morning for 30 days in a row and repattern your nervous system through breathing. Most people are breathing in through their chest and they're extremely contracted. They don't have the capacity in their diaphragm to even hold to receive what they want. Drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth, unclench your jaw, soften your eyes, let your shoulders fall. You can even put them up as I'm doing right now in this video, and then roll them back and let them slide down your back and feel your feet in the ground. You can start with your little toes on either side and put each one down to your big toe and then reverse. Start with your big toe and put it down. Notice your hands. We're coming back into the body because when the body is out of sync, it needs safety on the most basic level of like, oh, I can feel my little finger. Oh, I feel my thumb. Oh, I feel my ear. And again, you're giving safety signals to your body. And it might sound really ridiculous. And over time, when you do this, you're going to notice your capacity, your state shifts internally because your body feels safe. You're giving it recognition of like, oh, I see you. I feel you literally. And you can do it with different parts like, oh, my nose, oh, my head, my eyebrows, my knees, like big toe, little toe. Super simple. Children, any human can do this. And this is not woo. This is this is physiological. Step 2. Once you are more regulated, then you can begin to choose from truth, not threat. Ask, what's the next clean step? What would be true if I weren't trying to prove anything? What would be true if I wasn't trying to prove anything? What would I do if I trusted myself? And this is where aligned action lives and thrives. Step 3, you can begin to execute. Execution becomes simple when you stop making it mean something about you, your self-worth. So many entrepreneurs aren't afraid of the task. They're afraid of what the outcome will, quote unquote, say about them. And so you practice doing the action without attachment, drama, and without needing it to validate you. You validate yourself. How successful your company is or how not successful your company is, that does not determine your extrinsic worth and value as a human. And I will say this about approval. I was going to give a talk recently, and as I was driving there, I was thinking, like, I really want these people to have, like, wow, that was a great speech and awareness. And when I thought that, I was like, oh my goodness, I just gave my power away. I want them to validate me that she gave an amazing talk. And I'm so glad I had that awareness before I gave the speech. Because what happens, maybe they didn't like the talk. And then my system would have been like, oh, it could have been, oh, I'm worthless. I'm not of value. I'm a disappointment to them. I should have done, X, Y, Z. And instead, I pulled my power back. I don't need other people's approval. I don't need their approval and I don't need their validation. And that's a really big shift to have, because then you're walking around with full power. You're not giving your power away. And you can stand up on stage, whether you're giving a presentation, whether you're giving a pitch deck, whether you're talking at the school board, whether you're talking to, a sports team, whether you're talking to your founding team, your employees. You don't need their approval. Your approval comes from you first. And when you give that, it's kind of like what they say, like love. You have to love yourself first before you can be in a relationship. And there's some nuance to that of like, it's, yes, when you can receive love from others, it's really helpful as well. And love starts with yourself first. And so when you can give yourself approval and validation, that is so helpful to your entire ecosystem. Here are 3 practices you can begin today, no matter what time you're listening to this. If you're listening late at night, okay, maybe save it till tomorrow morning. Practice number 1, the 10-second body scan before every business action, before you send an email, before you're writing a pitch deck, before you go into an investor meeting, before you go into a hiring session, do this 10-second body scan. Before you hit send, before you hit post, before you walk into meeting, whatever you're doing, where is my body tight? Am I trying to force a result? Can I soften 5%? And that 5% changes everything. And if you're sending an email, what I do, if I'm sending something that sending or even opening up a certain an email box, I simply put a hand on my heart and I just say, you're safe. I got you. I'm right here. I'm not going to let you go. You're letting your nervous system know that you recognize them and you see them, just as if another person is sitting across from the table with you. Think of it that way. When you recognize that aspect within you, things calm down. So really, come back into the body of like, oh, can I feel my little fingers? Can I feel my little toes? Can I feel my big toes, my thumb? Come back into the body. And if you can, when you get in the habit, when you practice being in the habit of doing these really simple practices before really anything, this is where mindfulness comes in. Practice number 2 is capacity training. Can you receive without collapse? Pick one small thing for the next 30 days where you typically clench around. Could be money, compliments, support, attention, and then practice receiving it with your body relaxed. So when you receive a sale, not when you get a sale, when you receive a sale or a customer or a client or even a compliment, do not immediately go into, okay, now I have to earn it. I have to justify it. Simply let the compliment, what I do is I put a hand on my heart and I say, I receive. Thank you. No explanation, no justification. Oh, I had a client once and she was like, oh, she received a compliment on her hair. Like it looked beautiful. She was like, oh yeah, like I spent 90 minutes dyeing it and, it took so long to, do this process. And she went through this whole explanation to this other person. And the reflection I had for her was you had to justify that you were worth those 90 minutes of care. Wow. And when we have awareness around that and we simply receive a compliment like, I like your sweater. Thank you. I receive. Hand on your heart, it's tactile, body, you're recognizing it. Super powerful. And most people cannot receive a compliment. And if you can't receive a compliment, it's going to be really difficult to receive money in your business. Yes, you can force it. There's magic things out there where, yes, some people can not receive compliments and they make millions. For most of humanity, it's very difficult to not have things affected in one area and not spill into other areas. So, hand on heart, thank you. I receive, pause, breathe, and let your system register. This is safe. Whole hand on the heart thing. You're literally teaching your body more is safe to hold. Practice number 3, one clean step, the anti-overwhelm tool. Overwhelm is usually too many simultaneous perceived threats. So you choose one clean step, one clean action. Write the first paragraph, stop, go for a walk. Send a single email, pause, stand up, shake out your legs, do something with your body. Do box breathing for a minute. Record the rough giraffe and then get up and do something with your body. Do 5 push-ups. It can be against the wall. It could be traditional on the floor. Make an offer to one person and then come back into your body. One step from regulation, executed cleanly, and keep repeating. So those are 3 really simple practices that you can begin right now. And that is how momentum becomes sustainable. Pushing harder built a lot of businesses, and it also burned so many people out. The future belongs to the entrepreneur who can hold pressure without collapsing, who can be visible without performing, who can lead without controlling, who can rest without guilt or self-judgment, and who can receive without gripping or justification. Pushing harder is over. Regulation is in. Your nervous system is not a side note. It is the foundation of your leadership, of your life, of your business, of your parenthood, of your company, of your legacy. And when your system feels safer, your strategy works. Your decisions become cleaner and your execution becomes faster and your life begins to match the business you're building, the business that you've envisioned, that God has downloaded to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. If this really impacted you, please share this with another entrepreneur or parent or founder who is tired of forcing their way forward. They're tired of the grind. They are tired of the sleepless nights. They're tired of forcing things and really just spinning their wheels. There is a more aligned, peaceful approach where you will receive more by doing less. I shared this with a client recently. I rest to receive. And if you haven't heard anything else from this podcast, maybe let that land with you. Go back and listen to this again. There are some really great points in here that will change your life, no matter if you're a business owner or not. When we come back into harmony with our nervous system, with how your body is wired, how it's conditioned one way, we are realigning, reconditioning it into regrooves. If the groove is really hard on one side of, no confidence, you have to fight your way through things. The more you fight your way through things, the rougher life is going to be. And I invite you to rest more in your business, push yourself first. You cannot serve from an empty cup. I know we hear that a lot. Make your business work around your life. Really, I invite you to, consider slow mornings, slow evenings. Be intentional with your overall self-care and soul care, two different categories. And maybe we'll do a part 3 or part 2 on this whole topic of entrepreneurship and nervous system. It is super important as we rewire our nervous system collectively. And when you rewire your nervous system, it begins to shift the collective too. And the collective isn't as tense, tight, contracted, and loss, lack, scarcity. We can be more abundant. I think that's what we all want. So if you want more love, if you want more money, begin to recondition your nervous system. And as always, I'm here to support you. Please reach out if you would like mentorship and coaching. I also invite you to sign up for Heal Thy Foundations. I will drop a link in the show notes for that subscription. It's $49.99 a month, and it guides you to build one healthy habit every 30 days. Every month is amazing. There's also free coaching involved with that as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you next week. Again, please leave a review, 5-star review, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or anything else you'd like to share with me, I would love to hear from you. And I wish you a beautiful, peaceful, bless-filled day.